There is a kind of movie making which now seems to have taken over, but which has actually been bubbling away for some years. It involves the creation of strong female characters. These kinds of movies tend to boast about these strong female characters as though the strong female character is some new invention, when in fact such characters go back as far as the 1920s Laurel and Hardy Silence and movies like Son of Kong. Basically, these days nobody has the first idea how to write genuinely strong female characters, and so they make sure everything and everybody else in the film is completely useless, therefore putting them in no danger whatsoever, and therefore making them seem like strong characters by comparison. In 2016, there was a reboot of Ghostbusters. The original Ghostbusters still stands as one of the all-time greatest films ever made. It was a horror movie which just happened to have a high humour content. By comparison, this is a live-action kids' cartoon. The original characters felt real. We felt like we knew them. And comedy, no matter how ludicrous the circumstances the characters find themselves in, is always best when it's played for real. And nothing in this movie feels real. For example, the proton packs in the original were a possibly dangerous, experimental, or new invention, which the Ghostbusters themselves were wary of. Here, they're just an excuse for some feeble slapstick. There are no characters in this film. The four leads just seem like over-enthusiastic little girls. There doesn't seem to be a moment in the film when someone isn't gurning, pulling funny faces, shouting, or generally going completely over the top as though they're doing pantomime. Their secretary is literally so stupid he is in the realms of comic book stupid bloke, and I bet he probably thinks St. Columba was the man who discovered America.
Everything free in America. For a small fee in America.
The villain, scientist and occult leader, Rowan North, is equally unimpressive, even when he morphs into a giant version of the Ghostbusters logo. The fact is that this is Ghostbusters strictly as children's fare. Not only that, but it underestimates the intelligence of children, and thinks that they can only handle bottom denominator humour. For example, it's a fat woman flying through the air. Someone's just made a farting noise. It's someone sticking their middle finger up. It's a ghost puking all over one of the characters. No, stop. Please, my aching sides. If this film had had nothing to do with Ghostbusters, it could have worked as a lowbrow comedy, but it just seems completely dependent on the Ghostbusters logo to sell itself. A number of the scenes from the original film were redone, rather badly, and every 5 minutes one of the cast from the original film pops up. You get the impression the production team were so desperate to keep the attention of the audience, they filled the film with cameos, which makes you wonder if they had any confidence at all in their new team. Even Slimer makes an appearance. At the end of the day, the best thing you can say about this film is that it's harmless nonsense. It's certainly a lot more watchable than the kind of toxic waste and mean-spirited propaganda which now seems to pass for entertainment. But to be honest, if these had been genuine characters, in a film which managed to properly balance its horror and comedy, and didn't underestimate the intelligence of its audience, you wonder just how much better this would have been.